And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals of Sparkling Tuna Cup number 47. It's been a pretty intense day of StarCraft here. A lot of ace matches, even a couple of upsets as well. And now we find ourselves in the grand finals with 2 players remaining. And I'm getting some deja vu. The same 2 players that were here a week ago. It is a rematch of STC, the 46 finals. And now we're back, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, the favorite player in this entire tournament. Can he be stopped? Can he be slowed down? It is NightMare. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Starlight Twinkle, last week's Sparkling Tuna Cup champion. It is Krystianer. And if you are in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you believe is going to be this week's champion. Is history going to repeat itself? Is Krystianer going to be able to pull it off once again? Or is NightMare going to get his revenge? Is he going to bring it back and claim that Tuna Cup for himself? Oh boy. Here we go. Predictions open. These predictions are open. You have a couple of minutes to place those bets, so get them in while you can. Meanwhile, we're getting into our openers. It's going to be a 2-gate opener out of Krystianer here on the left-hand side. He'll be going for his own 2-gate opener. Likewise, NightMare going for a 2-gate... No, never mind. Okay, 2-gate opener out of Krystianer, a gate expand out of NightMare. And Krystianer, he's going for a proxy pylon. He's looking to punish the greed here of his opponent. Has no idea what's going on, but honestly, an all-in would work wonders for Krystianer. The reason why is because NightMare is cutting corners. NightMare, he's going for a single gateway into a more greedy economic build. NightMare is looking to expand. He's looking to expand here on the low ground. Did go double gas, so this could even lead into a Stargate before Nexus. But we're going for the Nexus. NightMare, he has the money for it. He has that 400 minerals, and he will throw down that Nexus. Very greedy build here out of NightMare. And here comes the all-in. Robo has been thrown down, and Krystianer, he's coming. Now, NightMare does confirm that there is a pylon missing, so he knows it's somewhere on the map. He's looking. He's scouting for that pylon, moves out with a Zealot, checking these triangular third base locations, scouring the right-hand side as well with that probe. And if he goes up this ramp, that Zealot is going to be able to get on top of that pylon. We're going. We are going to be checking here. Very fortunate for NightMare. He's looking for the proxy. He does come across it, and he will get on top of that pylon. Pylon is under fire. Stalkers are on the way. With these 2 Stalkers, Krystianer should be able to hold on. He should be able to save this location. It's going to be close, though. Second pylon on the way, just in case. We're chasing down the Zealot. At the same time, NightMare, he only has sentries to work with. He's staying back at home. But NightMare, he does confirm the all-in. Zealot is going to go full, is going to fall, is going to go down. We have a safety shield battery here on the low ground. We have a Robo first out of NightMare. Immortals on the way. So far, good setup. We have a shield battery, we have an overcharge, we have sentries, we have an Immortal on the way. Everything looking solid here for NightMare. Meanwhile, Krystianer, he went for a Prism first, and he's going for the main. He's diving into that main base, going for the mineral line. And he does get in. 2 adepts, they one-shot probes. And NightMare's economy is going to be crippled. A lot of lost mining time. 0 mining in the main base. 1 probe goes down. And we try to chase them down, but they do pull back in time. Going back to mining. Prism gets forced back. 1 adept is going to get targeted. Up. Barely it does fall. And Krystianer bleeds out an adept. Behind this, we have a 3rd gateway, so pretty hefty amount of production available here. Immortal has arrived. Losing 1 adept is brutal. And I'm not so certain that Krystianer can take a head-on fight. He's going for it. Ooh, takes a hit to the face, though. Does take an extra hit to the face. We dive on top of the armor. We try to. We do get away. Force fields are thrown down. Good juggling out of Krystianer. Does save his army. Does at least save the army. NightMare on that ramp. He's now up to 2 Immortals. He has those 2 Immortals ready to go. Krystianer going for a drop into the main. We're in position. And NightMare, he rotates around. He does keep up. Leads out one Stalker, but only one. And again, the longer this goes on, the better it is for NightMare. We're up to 3 Immortals, though. And we're going to try and focus down. We get the shield battery. No overcharge. No overcharge available so far. Decent juggling here at the Krystianer. Does bleed out an Adept. Does bleed out a Sentry. We need that Prism. Get that War Prism in there. As we focus down one of the Immortals, and it looks like Krystianer, he's breaking through. He overwhelms. GG gets called, and Krystianer takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Let's go. Krystianer, he does take the first game. And we are one step closer to pulling off that upset 2 weeks in a row. We are so close. Can we go the distance? Can we go all the way? As a reminder, this is still best of 5. Still best of 5. And last week, this went all the way to game 5. It went all the way to the ace match. Oh boy. Would not be surprised if that happens again. So getting into Site Delta as game 2. Getting into game number 2, and you can hear the beeps. The lobby has been made. Oh boy. Now again, the stars aligned for Krystianer. Remember, for Krystianer to go for a 1-base all-in, specifically against the build of NightMare, that was ideal, but now we're getting to Site Delta. This is a very unique map for PvP. Very unique. The reason for this is because there's a ramp leading into the natural, which means we have a much more, again, natural setup here to defend. We can use the features, the terrain of the map to our advantage to be a little bit greedier here in a PvP, but we'll get into it. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Site Delta, we have the red Protoss player from the land of South Korea. Down in this series, down in this best of 5, but it is a best of 5, plenty of opportunity to bounce back. It is NightMare. And as we get ready for our second introduction, a big shout out to Sort of in the chat. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the grand finals of Sparkling Tuna Cup. This is our weekly open tournament where players from Europe, from Southeast Asia, from Latin America, and from South Korea all clash here in our open brackets. And we've reached the grand finals. And this player here in the top left is leading this series 1-0, representing Starlight Twinkle, the Polish Protoss. It is Krystianer. Here we go. Now, if you're maybe tuning in for the first time, and if you are unaware of the history here between these two players, obviously NightMare, he's an amazing Protoss player in Korea. He has some of the best PvP in all of Korea. We've seen him bring down Hero, Classic, Creator. PvP is where NightMare thrives. But this is a rematch. This is a weekly tournament, and last week, it was Krystianer and NightMare in the finals. These two players, they faced off in the finals. It went all the way to game 5, all the way to the ace match, and Krystianer won. He was last week's Tuna Cup champion. This week, though, NightMare, he wants his revenge, but he stumbles out of the gate, and Krystianer is going for another proxy. Let's go. Now, I spoke about how this map is very different in PvP. The reason for this is because we have a ramp leading into the natural, so gate expands are a lot more common. And once again, NightMare is setting up for a gate expand. Zealot first, one gateway into the Cybercore into a Nexus. Greedy opener here, economic opener, maybe a better way of putting it, from NightMare. Krystianer, 1-base all-in. Proxy Robo, 2 games in a row. Krystianer's going for the 1-base all-in. Probe does miss the proxy. NightMare is going in for the Probe Scouts. He's going in, and once he does, he will confirm that a pylon is missing, but is that going to be enough of a tell? He's looking. His Zealot is out. He's looking for any kind of proxy, any kind of shenanigans. It is going to be a Stargate before Nexus this time. It was double gas here from NightMare, so a bit of a safer build. Ooh, going for a second gateway. NightMare. Okay, I assumed that he was going to be a little bit more economic and greedy, but no, he's respecting his opponent. He recognizes his folly or his weaknesses in game number 1, and he's taking Krystianer seriously. Oracle first. Bold move. Is going to be an Oracle first. Adepts, they do shade in. They focus on one of his Adepts. Behind this, NightMare is expanding, but remember, NightMare did go for that Stargate first, where he has access to a Void Ray. It is going to be an Oracle to begin with. Krystianer, he has yet to throw down the 3rd gateway. Still only on 2. Prism first. There we go, an Immortal thereafter. And with our initial Prism, we have 4 Adepts. We're going for the main base. We're looking for economic damage. At the same time, Oracle gets across the map. Do we have anything to defend? We don't! No shield battery, 1 Stalker, and now 2, just in time. As the Adepts, they get into the main base. Probes are going down. At the same time, the Oracle tries to go in, but we are in position. Hopefully, as we're following a probe. There we go. We can focus them down. And that's going to be 13 dead workers across the map. And that's game-ending damage. That's far too much. 13, 14, 15 probes go down. NightMare caught with his pants down, completely out of position, and we are just annihilating that mineral line. There's nothing left. We're down to 1 probe. GG gets called, and Krystianer takes a 2-0 lead in this series. He's 1 game away from doing it once again and bringing NightMare down. GG. Oh my god, Papi. He's crazy. Can anyone stop this man? NightMare was coming in as the favorite player, but Krystianer, he's popping off with 1 base all-ins, to be fair. But at the same time, again, game number 1 was NightMare being greedy. Game number 2, NightMare was trying to be a little bit safer this time. Unfortunately, he went Oracle first. He went across the map. The Oracle did nothing. Likewise, he was out of position with his first couple of Stalkers. He was not in his main base. He was not ready for Adepts into the main. As we mentioned, NightMare was caught with his pants down, and with that, Krystianer's on match point. Uno mas, 1 more game, and he's going to be our back-to-back champion. Uno mas, 1 more is all he needs. Fun fact as well, I believe we were going over some stats earlier, and I believe Krystianer has finally overtaken Bjorn as the Sparkling Tuna. What I mean by that is, for many years, this tournament started back in 2022. This tournament series did begin, and for a very long time, Bjorn was our player that had the most wins under his belt, the most Sparkling Tuna Cup championships, the most gold medals, if you will, the most Sparkling Tuna Cups. Bjorn, he did have the most wins, but as of last week, he was finally overtaken by Krystianer. Krystianer did overtake Bjorn in the overall amount of Tuna Cup wins, and will he extend that lead? Will he get another under his belt? Here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our red Protoss player. Down in this series, he needs your energy, he needs your support in the chat if we want a longer series. Representing himself, currently teamless, deserving to be on a team, it is NightMare. The Korean Protoss, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the player leading the series 2-0. Uno mas, 1 more win is all he needs to be our champion this week. Back to back, can he pull it off? Representing Starlight Twinkle is the Polish Protoss, it is Krystianer. Here we go. Now, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, never fool me again. As I imagine, we're not going to be going for a proxy 3 games in a row, right? Oh, we shouldn't be, as this probe is rallied, I believe, to a proxy location. Krystianer, not again, right? Papi, not again. We are set up for a proxy pylon, at least. Are we going to commit? We're here to find out. Now, what I will say is that for the first time this series, it's a 2-gate opener. Remember, both in Game 1 and in Game 2, we had Gate into Cybercore from NightMare. This time, 2 gateways, a much more standard, much safer build and opener from NightMare. So, compared to every other game, he's poised and ready to defend against something crazy. There it is, once again, Proxy Robo. NightMare, he is as best set up as he can be this time. Comes down to the execution. Again, Game 1, it was a gate expand. Game 2 was a gate cyber into Stargate into another gateway. It was a bit of a more Frankenstein of an opener in Game 2 from NightMare. But this time, very safe. NightMare, he does scout. He does confirm, hold up, your pylon's missing. So he knows it's a proxy. He's looking for it. He's checking for the proxy pylon. He has 1 probe on the left-hand side. He has another probe here towards the left as well. He's not checking the right. Not yet. So far unscattered. And NightMare, he goes for a blind counter. He goes for a robo first. So NightMare, he hasn't seen the proxy, but because of the trend of this series, because of what happened in Game 1 and Game 2, even before he scouts, and he will confirm, he does scout the proxy robo, he already has a robo of his own, and a third gateway as well. So this is a blind counter. So NightMare, this time he should be able to keep up. I say that, what I should emphasize instead, NightMare has the tools to defend, but it still comes down to the execution of both players. It's going to come down to the positioning, the micro, how this all comes together. But I do like NightMare's setup overall. Again, like, compared to all the games in this series, NightMare, he's in his best position that he could hope to be in. You know, NightMare, he rotates around. Oh, as Krystianer moves out, NightMare is moving in, and he's going for the pylon. He's going for the robo. The prism is on the way, but will it finish? As NightMare does focus on that pylon. Krystianer, he's committed across the map. He has to go. Pylon is going to go down. The prism doesn't come out. It just barely does. Whew. We do force a recall. The Immortal has right. We can focus on the pylon. We do deep out the gateways as well. But NightMare, he barely gets a warp in. Does warp in those two adepts. Sorry, those two sentries. Backup pylon on the way. Krystianer does have high ground vision with that prism. He can focus on the gateway. But NightMare, he has a higher army supply overall, a higher stalker count, and his own Immortal just now pops. Or even in Immortals. And with this robot being depowered, Krystianer, where do we go from here? Do we try to transition? Do we try to pivot away? But now we're committed. For now, we are committed. Oh, good force field. We do catch a stalker. Not the biggest pick-off, but a pick-off nonetheless. Look at the units tab. You can see here, NightMare, he does have a lead in stalkers. He gets his own war prism. He can juggle his own units. He can micro, he can control. And yeah, there it is. Krystianer, he expands. Because of the depowered robo, because of the delays to the all-in, and because of the build of NightMare, expanding makes sense. So Krystianer is working on that next step. NightMare moving out with the probe to scout himself. Right now, the goal of Krystianer is no longer to kill his opponent, it's to kill this gateway and to contain. Gateway is going to be killed, and now he's just containing his opponent as best he can for as long as possible, while he expands, while Krystianer gets ahead economically. And there we go. Krystianer, he's content with the damage he dealt. He's backing off. And as it settles, I want to give the edge to Krystianer. I mean, he does have an economic lead. His natural is so much faster than that of NightMare. And now the turn's tabled. Suddenly, NightMare is all in. Suddenly, NightMare, the pressure is on him to push out across the map. Does catch the robo. Robo is going to be depowered. NightMare, he does send some units back home. He is expanding. He's not going all in. Mortal drop into the main. Kind of focus on as many probes as possible. Doesn't get much done though. Also a little bit haphazard there. Yeah, getting one probe. But we were lacking target firing there from the Immortals. We get a Stalker, not bad. We do take some hull damage though. So it wasn't a free trade. Meanwhile, across the map, NightMare doing the same, dropping into the main base with two Stalkers and an Immortal. And Krystianer is out of position.
The enemy.
Krystianer's out of position, but he does have an army waiting in that mineral line. So he's fine. He's gonna be able to hold on, forces back the army. Trying to go for the warp gate. Warp prism. Weeds out some Stalkers. Force to recall back home. And Krystianer, he does enjoy himself that worker lead. He's going for extra warp ins, pushing out across the map. Looking at the army sizes here, they're pretty comparable with each other, but Krystianer, he does have an adept lead more than anything. And Sentries is going for the prism. No! The prism! The prism barely does go down. Big pick off. The prism falls. We force a recall. We get on top of the Immortal. And we do get a lot of hull damage done. We don't get a kill. Well, that's going to hurt. And now NightMare's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble right now. Krystianer is coming in for his own push. He is committing. Again, the Immortal did lose its shields. We're down to 2. No prism to juggle. We catch the sentries. Very nice catch from Krystianer. Good counter force fields, but Krystianer just saved all his units. Good juggling. bring everything back together. Pushing on forward once again. The overcharge is popped. You hold. NightMare, he is holding on. The force fields, they take down one more adept. And another. Overcharge does run out. And you can see Krystianer, he has an overwhelming army. Because of his economic lead, that led into a larger army. We have so many adepts. We're focusing on whatever we can. We catch another immortal and another. And oh my god, I was not expecting this. But Krystianer is coming in, looking at 3-0. NightMare of all players. Again, NightMare, he has some of the best PvP in all of South Korea. GG gets called, and Krystianer will take the series 3-0, becoming our back-to-back Sparkling Tuna Cup champion. GG. Papi. Oh my god. GG, well played. Krystianer popping off not just tonight, but for the past couple of weeks, for the past couple of months. I was praising not just Krystianer, but I was praising Geralt as well. They've both been improving so much over the past couple of years from the COVID era of StarCraft. And PG, don't forget to join the Maturino page. But yeah, both Geralt and Krystianer, they've been improving so much here over the course of the past couple of months, over the past couple of years, actually. They've been climbing the ladder, the European ladder, I should say. I mentioned before that when I think of the European Protoss players, the top 3 is pretty cemented. You know, I would say that we have MaxPax is number 1, Showtime is number 2, and Skillus is number 3. Number 4 is a little bit more ambiguous. I would say that 3 players, Geralt, Krystianer, and Hearthstone, they kind of vie for that number 4 spot. For like 4, 5, and 6, you can like interchange them however you wish. I do think that Hearthstone especially has been focusing a lot more on content, a lot less on like competing and improving, and because of that, that's kind of shown a little bit in results, and we've kind of seen that in the ESL Open Cups, for example, or in the online regionals. And yeah, Krystianer and Geralt, they've both really made a name for themselves. They've both been improving so much, and these past couple of weeks, Krystianer has been getting the better of Geralt. Just barely, though. Just barely. As a reminder, Geralt 3-0 NightMare. Sorry, Krystianer 3-0 NightMare. But who made Krystianer bleed? Geralt. Right? Geralt, he forced the ace match out of Krystianer. And that game 3 between Geralt and Krystianer was very close. That was a very close game 3 between the two of them. Could have gone either way. Could have even been Geralt in the finals. Could have been Geralt even becoming our champion this week. Could have been. Likewise, a shout out to everyone else that competed here tonight. Shout out to Nicaract as well, who competed and made it to the semifinals, the upper semis. Shout out to Eon, as Eon caused an upset, and Eon 2-0'd Hon Mono, or 2-1. Let me just double check. Yeah, Eon, he 2-0'd Hon Mono earlier, which was a big win. We had Eba flexing his Protoss. Who else made Krystianer bleed? Eba. Eba off-raced his Protoss, and Eba forced the ace match against Krystianer as well. We had Middle VK forcing an ace match out of Geralt. There were a lot of ace matches, a lot of wild series here. Even Rostock, yo, a shout out to Rostock. You can see there towards the upper portion of the bracket, forcing NightMare to the ace match as well. So yeah, a lot of players popping off here tonight, and hope everyone in the chat enjoyed themselves as well. Do hope everyone enjoyed themselves. Sorry, I'm just messaging some of the players. GG, well played, and I'm setting out the predictions as well. Shout out to those who had faith in Krystianer, by the way. Let's go. The faith pays off. It's been years, but I'm still impressed by Geralt when he defeated Cyril at DreamHack, right? Like, that's what I mean. Like, Geralt and Krystianer, they've both been doing so well for themselves. Not just them, but there have been a lot of players that have been improving over time. Nicaract is another big one. I know that we didn't get to showcase Nicaract too much this week, and he did get knocked out here in Nicaract did get knocked out in the upper semis, but he's also been getting some really good results as of late over the past couple of months. So yeah, it's been cool to see the rate of improvement of all these players. And with that, thank you so much everyone for watching. Thank you so much everyone for tuning in. If you're unfamiliar with this tournament series, this is a weekly open tournament that we host here on the Cranky Ducklings. We bring together players from all around the world, from Europe, from Korea, from Southeast Asia, from Latin America. They all come together for the Sparkling Tuna Cup. It's amazing, it's beautiful, it's a weekly tournament, so consider hitting that follow button. And if you want to support this tournament in another way, !Matcherino in the chat. We do have a Matcherino page for this tournament. We don't have any coupon codes, unfortunately, but we do have a Matcherino so you can help boost the prize pool yourself if you wish. We're fully transparent. 100% of the money on Matcherino goes to the players, goes towards the top 2, as well as the random raffle, of course. So it's all paid out via Matcherino. Likewise, if you want to support the tournament series, if you want to support the Cranky Ducklings, you can do so via Patreon. Patreon in the chat. And you'll get a link to our Patreon page. Our Patreon is set up to fund all of our tournaments. You can see our goal just under NightMare's name. You can see just under there. We currently do get 217 USD a month. So thank you so much. Big shout out to all of our patrons out there. Because of our patrons, we're able to fund our tournaments, so it is fully community funded, and our goal is 320 a month. And if we can reach that, then we can grow our tournaments. We can boost the prize pool to pay out top 4. Right now, these online tournaments only pay out top 2, first and second place. I would love to be able to pay out top 4. Again, it does depend on the support that we get on Patreon, though. So if you're interested, if you want to support our tournaments, then you can do so via Patreon. Otherwise, just follow us. Follow us, whether it's here on Twitch, whether it's over on YouTube. We do stream on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. And our VODs, because we're streaming on YouTube, are instantly available on YouTube as well. So if you're not really one to watch VODs on Twitch, and I don't blame you, the VOD system on Twitch is inferior to that of YouTube. We can all agree on that. The VODs are better on YouTube. So if you want to tune into some broadcasts and you can't tune in live, if you want to watch Krystianer versus NightMare last week, the VOD is on YouTube, under the live tab. We have our VOD tab, we have our live tab. You can check out our live tab. You can see all the streams that we've been having, and you can check out that series and many others. We're live on a daily basis here on the Cranky Ducklings. Speaking of, our next broadcast is going to be tomorrow. Our next broadcast is going to be in just under 24 hours. It is going to be ESL Open Cup Asia. If one Korean wasn't enough for you, if you want some more Korean on Korean action, then ESL Open Cup Asia is the place to be. It is an online open tournament, but catered towards Korean players, and because of that, you know, we get players like Kyor, Byun, Gumiho, Dark, Solar, Shin, DRG, Hero, Classic, NightMare as well. NightMare, he will most likely be here tomorrow for ESL Open Cup Asia. The best of the best in Korea do face off. Basically, everyone plays, all the Koreans play in ESL Open Cup Asia, except for Maru. Maru is the only player that doesn't play in these online weeklies, similar to Serral, right, where Serral also doesn't play in the online European Opens. You know, they take their time to practice, to improve, to get ready, and to conserve their strength and prepare for these big premier events, like GSL, like DreamHack Dallas, that's on the horizon. So again, that's at least what players like Serral and Maru do. Everyone else, though, they all go to town in these open cups. So yeah, we're going to be featuring them tomorrow if you're interested. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much. Another big announcement of an announcement. This week we're going to be casting the GSL qualifiers. The qualifiers were held last week, and we have our hands on the replays. If you want to support GSL, they actually give out replays to patrons. They have their own Patreon. Just like how we have our own Patreon, GSL also have their own Patreon as well. They do give out replays to patrons, and that's how we got our replays. And we're going to be casting the GSL qualifiers, I believe, on Thursday or maybe another day. We'll figure it out. We'll find a nice time to host that broadcast and to bring you those GSL qualifiers as soon as we can. So it is something to look forward to. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We do appreciate it. We're going to be heading off for the night, and enjoy the rest of your evening. There is the ESL Pro Tour currently ongoing. What's being casted right now? ESL Asia is live. They're going over Firefly versus Haas and Miyamika versus Cyan. Check out those matches. I'm sure they're having a great time. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. We'll find someone to raid, And with that, thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. We'll see you guys next time. Bye. Bye. Hasta luego, papi. See you tomorrow. Hasta luego. Ciao.